If there's an offer of and reward, that means there's usually an equal or sometimes a greater amount of risk. There's no free lunch, right? Nobody's walking around giving out $1 million bills to people. That's not it. That's not what people do.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
So how you build these communities for entrepreneurs around you? I remember the first time I opened my business, I went to all my friends. We went in a pub in London, okay, and I'm there for a drink. That's what we do on Fridays in London. And then there were all of them talking about this, talking about that, about the job. I said, guys, you're not going to believe I opened a business and I'm selling this and I'm making this money with the rooms and it's amazing. But and when I look at it, but nobody cares at all. So I say, oh, that means that maybe I'm going to need new friends. These friends are going to stick around that much. So tell us about this path. Same you, Chris, like, for example, your friend from corporate, they are employees. Now you're an entrepreneur. So what happened? How you managed to rebuild or to put your because you have to speak, right?
Right. Yes. A couple of things that were key for that. One was getting involved with trade organizations that are related to your business. So for us, there's organizations that say, okay, if you're a financial planner and you do this type of financial planning, here's an organization and other advisors that do it similarly. So you join those organizations that have similar values and similar approaches, and then just start meeting people at conferences, talking to people, connecting with people at conferences. And then some of what we'll do is we'll be very deliberate about it. There are people at a conference that you connect with and you think would also connect well with each other. We just form what we call them study groups. It's kind of like masterminds, but everybody comes. It's a free mastermind. We don't do any of the charge service version of masterminds. And then you say, okay, these people would get along. We do things similarly, might be in different phases, but we're all around a similar phase of business. And then you schedule time on the calendar. You treat it as sacred. You show up every meeting or as many as you can. And you build relationship. You discuss firm issues. You talk about client cases with confidentiality, of course. But you can run those ideas by someone that's in a similar stage and going through it. But it takes effort and commitment to do that. If you just think that you'll just find these people without any effort, that's rare. It usually involves, hey, I'm looking to build a community. I need mutual support. Let's support each other, and being committed to it. And some of those will fall away and then some will stay, right? And the ones that stay, if you don't make an attempt in the first place, you won't find the ones that stick around, that become your, lifelong friends and colleagues as you build your business and they build their business. So, and that way you don't drive your wife or your partner crazy with business, right? Because you can drive your study buddy to crazy. So
now, Chris, you are an entrepreneur with a specific set of skills, and we always discuss this in the podcast, because the fact that you are a good entrepreneur, it doesn't mean that you're a very good investor.
Right. Yeah.
That a good investor usually is a good entrepreneur, right? But unfortunately, it doesn't work the other way around. And that brings my second conversation, that you are an entrepreneur and now you exit your business, you have millions. And because you're very good at making money, but you're not good at keeping the money, some stories have been shared in this podcast that people have lost a lot of zeros because, you see, after you exit your business, you have all this money. Very soon, a friend is going to arrive and say, look, I have this property there, I have this building, that if you put your million there, your money there, you're going to get 40% return, 50% return. You're going to get your money back so quickly, and it's going to be amazing. And because the entrepreneurs, they don't know, and it sounds stupid, but if you hear the stories, you see other people saying like, okay, I get this money, okay, I exit my business, I have a few millions, then I'm gonna go into this financial planning company or whatever, and then after a year or two, a lot of zeros are missing, and they realize after that, exactly something you describing more or less, that not just describing, but there are some financial planning company out there that sometimes don't work in the best interest of the client because they make money
Right.
for the
Yeah.
fees anyway.
Right.
So it doesn't really a priority. It's not really a priority if you make or lose because they're making money anyway for the fees, which is everybody's free to do any business model. But sometimes they're not in the of the clients, and so bottom line, entrepreneurs that have been through this experience finally has ended up at least learning about financial planning, learning about investment, maybe learning how to find someone like you, for example, that have the best interest of the client, which is something that you need to have certain amount of knowledge in order to when you're interviewing the person, that actually the person you interview has the best interest in you. If you don't have any clue and you don't know, it's going to be very strange or challenging for you to hire the right person, right? It's the same thing with the coaching, okay? We see a lot of things that we see these coaches in Facebook, on the social media with the big house, the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis. I'm going to be your business coach, and by the way, grow your boys' business is easy. Just pay me a lot of money and I'll forget about that. And at the end of the day, they pay a lot of money, they get very little value, and later they're going to find out that going from 0 to 1 is not easy. Out of the 500 millionaires that I have interviewed here, that they all answered this question, no one has said yet, oh, you know what? For me, it was easy. So
if it's easy, they're either lucky or they're a liar, right? I mean, yeah.
Still, the 0 to 1 is tough.
Yeah.
And it took the product market fit. So, so then, Chris, what message do you have to entrepreneurs about raising the awareness? I've been there, we all been there, all entrepreneurs been there, that they are not financed, they don't have finance background. Okay, we have a product, we're selling, we're making money, let's make profit. Yeah, but all these have nothing to do with keeping the money.
Right. Yeah.
It have to do with the part of making the money. And you could be amazing at this, but if you don't find out the second part of it, that how to keep it and how to make it grow by itself, something happened. COVID happened, hurricane happened. The other day, my brother, I mentioned to you, is an entrepreneur. My brother called me the other day and told me, Harry, you're not going to believe what happened. I said, what happened? He told me, he has a business when he import and export furniture and decoration products, right?
Yes.
And so he has a big warehouse in Spain, in Madrid. And he told me, I said, you're not going to believe that happened. What happened? It was a fire 9 kilometers from the warehouse.
Oh,
I
wow.
said, well, and then he told me, but the interesting thing is that the wind moved that fire only 200 meters from the warehouse. And I'm like, oh my God. And then he told me, and it's even worse because the fire brigade was there and I couldn't even go they didn't even let me into, at least to take some stuff from the warehouse, computer, data that I have there. And my answer to him was, well, you only need to be in business for crazy stuff like this happen.
Yes.
If you're not in business, something crazy like this, but if you are in business, it's as important to make the money as to keep it, because when we have a business, even if it's a good business, COVID can happen, hurricane can happen, earthquake can happen, regulation can happen, an advanced technological advance can happen, like, I don't know, Uber and the cab driver, you name it, and you can be out of business so quickly. You can go to zero so fast, and entrepreneurs, they are always thinking about the business, thinking that the business is going to outlast them, and they don't see in diversification or in investors. So what is your take on all this?
Yeah. So the first thing is to think about, if I wasn't in business, what am I going to do with myself? Because I've worked with entrepreneurs, when they sell their business, the next thing they do is start another business, start 2 more businesses, whatever because they just can't get rid of that entrepreneurial itch. It really did something for them and they loved it.
That's okay. They can start all over with no money.
Right. Yes, exactly. So sometimes they don't know what to do next. So we start with, what do you want to do with your life first? Let's start with that, because that will determine what should you do with investments. Because some people will have enough money where they could just put it in the bank, earn almost nothing on it, and it's enough money to pay for their life and give money to their kids if that's what they want to do, and they would be perfectly happy. You don't have to make your life complicated and subject your money to risk if you don't need to. The first question is, what the heck do you want to do with yourself? What are you going to do next? What does life look like? If things were ideal for you, who are the people you want to have around you? What activities do you want to participate in? What kind of things do you want to have? Do you want to have a house? Do you want to have 2 houses? Do you want, like, oh, I have 3 houses. Do you want 3 houses? Well, not really. I only want 1. Okay, let's get rid of the houses. Like, let's parse through this. Just because you're a millionaire doesn't mean you need to collect houses like it's a hobby, right? Just because other people do it doesn't mean it's actually going to make you happy and fulfilled, right? And have a sense of purpose past whatever purpose your business provided to you. Because often as entrepreneurs, we find our purpose in our business. And if we don't have a purpose beyond that, then we can start making strange investment decisions where we're hoping that investment decision will be the next purpose, right? Whether it's another business, or we feel like we just have to grow money all the time. Instead, why don't we look at it a little differently? What do I need to support the life that I want to live and the causes and people I care about? Make sure that that's all taken care of. Then we say, how much stress do I want to take from the way that I invest the money, right? Do I want high, medium, low stress, right? Could be one way of looking at it. But sometimes it's like, how complicated do I want my life to be? I could buy a chain of restaurants. We see all these like NFL players and, NBA players. They're like, I'm going to start a restaurant chain. I'm like, do you know what it's like to run a restaurant? I mean, I know you'll pay people.
Tell me about it. Been there and it was a big disaster.
Yeah, it's stressful. And a lot of restaurants fail, probably more than other businesses.
Huge risk.
Yeah, so risky.
Especially if you're not a chef and you don't know, if you're not passionate about food.
Right. Yeah. And even if you are passionate about food, sometimes it still fails.
Sometimes. Tell me about it. I had one of these ones. I have one restaurant and I lost 200,000 in 2 years of my life.
And that's the question. Like, is it worth it to have to run a restaurant when it's a way of making money? Right. You can make money in Bitcoin, you make money in gold, you make money in restaurants. You can. But do you want to put up with the journey that is required to make money in that asset?
And with the risk.
Right. And the risk. If there's an offer of and reward, that means there's usually an equal or sometimes a greater amount of risk. There's no free lunch, right? Nobody's walking around giving out $1 million bills to people. That's not it. That's not what people do.
That's not how it works. Yeah.
No, unfortunately.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.